you. Thank you. Yeah, every time I've worn it, not very often, but you know, it's like I get compliments on it. So we're running late on the prelude.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to start our service this morning by singing, you can see it too, called May I Be Light by UU Reverend Michael Slack. And I'm going to have John play it through first since we haven't sung it before. Dun, 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 dun. May I be light in you, may you be light in me, into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you, may you be love in me, from this place out to the world for all time. One more time. May I be light in you. May you be light in me. Into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you. May you be love in me, from this place out to the world for all time.
Beloved companions, let us arrive in this place where all we have to do is be. We do not have to impress or convince or win over. We don't have to know the words. It's okay that we didn't read that book or pass that class or carry that title or meet that mark. We don't have to be anything other than who we are. Let us rest in this essence together and move into a space of communal rest. As much as we can, let us lay down our burdens. Let us lay down our longing, our craving, our unmet need, our error, regret, disappointment, anxiety, shame, exhaustion, bewilderment, bafflement, terror. All of this we let ourselves lay down just a little bit. And as we do this, may we be filled instead with presence. May we feel held in the comfort of this community, discovering new compassion for ourselves and others, more gratitude for this air that we breathe together, these questions we ask together, this justice that we seek together, and the songs we sing together. For all of this, come and let us worship together. And as we begin our service, we continue this moment of grounding, acknowledging that we are on the traditional land of the Duwamish people, stewards of this land in the past and the present. Let us hold our humility and gratitude and recognize our role in this story. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves, your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed, no oath to swear. We have instead promises that we make to one another, commitments to healing a hurting world within and beyond our walls. Welcome, everyone.
And now, as we do every time we gather, really, we will light our chalice. Our chalice lighter today is Daniel Five. And Daniel, if you please just come forward. The flaming chalice here was first used in the 1940s by the Unitarian Service Committee as a symbol of life-saving refuge for people fleeing persecution in Europe. As Daniel lights this chalice, we invoke the love that called people to put their lives at risk to save others. May we be vessels of life-saving welcome. And inspired by our chalice here, please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you. So welcome to the Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation. I am Lisa Reitzes. I'm a member of the worship team, and it is a great joy to be gathering with you for this service on the theme of resilience and resistance. If you're with us for the first time or the first time in a while, especially welcome. We're so glad that you're here, both here in the sanctuary and joining online, to make some space in your life to attend to your heart and your spirit, to come together in community. Please visit our website, which you can do by scanning the QR code on the card in the pews, where you can fill out a welcome form so that we can get to know you better, and we can also send you our weekly electronic newsletter, The Westside Week. It is so good to see familiar and new faces today, so now let's take a few moments to greet the neighbors around you. And Carter's As always, it's wonderful to see such enthusiastic greetings. We hope you continue these conversations after the service at coffee hour, which is downstairs. Any of the stairs, front and back, will get you there. So each week, congregants who agree to light our chalice are given a chance to speak from their heart. This is a chance for us all to get to know them better and to invite more voices here into our chancel. Daniel has agreed to offer a piece of poetry that is meaningful to him. Daniel?
Good morning. It is such a pleasure to come, and I am so grateful to be part of the Unitarian congregation. It wasn't always that way. I was raised a Free Methodist, and it's just oppressive. And I started dating a gal in back in the day, and she said, "I want you to go to church with me." And I said, "No, absolutely not." And she says, "No, this is different. And so she brought me to University Unitarian Church one Sunday in 1971, and I have been here since. I am so happy to be among such a wonderful group of people that do not behave like the preaching and shouting and that sort of thing. And I'm also pleased to say that I live just a few blocks away from here and used to walk by up here, and I saw that the congregation of this church was shutting down. And we were, the Unitarians at that time were renting a space. And I went to the minister and I told him that, and we are here now in this beautiful, beautiful space. So I am here to read to you my one published poem, and I need to say how I got there. I started reading poetry when I was a teenager and became very enthusiastic about it. And as a matter of fact, I just checked my inventory. I have 250 poetry books. So I started reading that, and there was one particular poem that stuck with me because of the lifestyle that I have always had to live. And it's called If by Rudyard Kipling, and the one I highly recommend it. And the one statement in there that kind of really defined me was, he says, if you could meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. Well, maybe many of you have joined this, but I have met with triumph and disaster many, many times. The thing I disagree with Mr. Rudyard Kipling is those two imposters are not just the same. I think you know which one I would prefer. But anyway, I then, in my early 30s, started sailing a lot, and I had bought my own little sailboat and sailed out there a lot. And out of those two things came me devising this poem that I'd like to read to you. If you're as you know, if you're sailing, there's a propulsion force. It's called the wind. And it comes from this direction or that direction or not at all, and you have to deal with it. And that force is invisible. And my poem is entitled Invisible Forces. Setting course through the invisible forces, yawl upon the wind. Shrouds taut, keeled over, sails full of the unseen wind. Tacking now to lee, now to windward, through the never visible, ever present, invisible forces. Now idle in doldrums, nor breeze, nor breath, nor movement upon the unmarred surface of the mirror reflected water. Soundless, shroud slack, sails drape with the quietness of death. Charting my course through time, such fickleness as the invisible forces frustrate my life. Tacking with the never-seen, ever-present, unknown forces, then left in idleness of lost motion. Awaiting the cat-paws of interspersed energies of that arbitrary, invisible force, I too must tack a course through the inconsistent energy from different directions as that yawl upon the seas of time. I appreciate you allowing me to read that. One additional thing, what I would like to see here the church added on is for the church to allow or institute a poetry reading among friends down in the space below, say about once a month or some such time as that, where people would come together and read their favorite poems to each other. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, Resilience by Abby Bettinas. And I've got a little quote from Abby. And this is what she says. Resilience is a mindset born in the hardest days, when you're scared or sad or tired, when progress towards your goal is slow and the barriers seem impenetrable. And yet you keep going because somewhere deep down you know that what you're fighting for will be so much better. As a 3-time cancer survivor, I continue to learn about resilience. That's from Abby. And so this song, Lisa's going to help me with it, and it's kind of a fun. I think of it as a marching protest resilience song kind of a thing. So what we're going to be doing with it is we're going to start by moving our bodies, like 1, 2. You can go either way. It doesn't matter which way you go. Right. And this is sort of the tempo of what the song's going to do, and it kind of helps keep you on, right? So it starts off, resilience. We are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience. Make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience. We are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience. Make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience. We are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience. Make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Very good. Now there's another part to it. And this part is a little more challenging, so you're going to be invited to sing either part after we learn this one. So this one we're going to do a little more call and responsey because it's kind of hard to get in the head. So it goes like this. And oh, we are strong, bold on. I want to make it and I know you will. Yes, like hard to keep going, but it's worse to stand still. So it goes, oh, we are strong. Call that line 1. Oh, we are strong. This part, hold on. I want to make it and I know we will. Yes, it's hard to keep going, but it's worse to stand still. I want to make it and I know we will. Yes, it's hard to keep going, but it's worse to stand still. I want to make it and I know we will. Yes, it's hard to keep going, but it's worse to stand still. I want to make it. Oh, that was good. Okay, there we go. Good. Okay, so let's start with resilience, and we'll do that all together. And then whoever wants to sing that higher part, Lisa will keep on singing the resilience part. Okay, and if you want to try the other one, I'll be singing it so you can boldly try it with me. Here we go. Resilience. We are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience. Make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience. We are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience. Make a new plan, stand up Good ending, good. Thank you.
That was very fun to watch as well as sing. Thank you, Scott and John, teaching us a new song here. That's great. So it is now our time for all ages. So anyone of any ages who wishes to see or hear better our storyteller, who is Reverend Carter today, please come down, sit on the floor, front pews. And while we gather, let me tell you about the religious exploration activities going on this morning. I can see folks making their way. So, just so you know, today is Melon Day, an observance that originated in Turkmenistan, a country in Central Asia. Melon Day holds great significance for the Turkmeni people, who are known for their beautiful culture, heritage, and also their delicious melons. Did you know that Turkmenistan is responsible for approximately 400 of the melon varieties we have today? So those of us who like melons are going, yay, and those of us who are on melons, like 400 melons, okay. Not that many downstairs, but it's going to be super fun. So all children and youth are invited downstairs after the Time for All Ages to celebrate all things melon. Leilani and her team will have coloring pages and word searches and, best of all, melon tastings. After the service, they invite the adult community to come join downstairs for the Melon RE activities. Reverend Carter.
Hi, everyone. Is this on? Can you hear me? Okay. So we are doing an embodied meditation today, and so what this means is that however you feel in your body that you want to feel and express this meditation is right and cool, and some of you may want to stand up and spread out, maybe go out into the aisles. There will be an opportunity for some large movements, so that is my recommendation, and if you're sitting, I would invite you to stand on the floors here, but you don't have to. Okay, everyone, find a space where you feel like you can tap into your body and move in a way that feels good. So first, let me tell you what we're doing. We're doing an embodied meditation to see what it feels like to be resilient in the way that trees are resilient. So we're going to be trees today. And so first you're going to get grounded. You're going to see what it feels like to have roots in the ground. So imagine being planted, growing in one place and having roots that can stretch down through the earth, spread out, and really hold you firm. And in real life trees, roots are 2 to 3 times larger than the canopies. And so you can imagine all of the roots in this room are going to be all stretched out and intertwined. So just breathe into that, feel what that would feel like. Maybe wiggle your toes, see if you can breathe and feel your breath going down into the earth. Maybe you feel the nutrients coming up from the roots as you breathe out. Now let's feel our trunks. How does it feel to be tall, to grow your trunk? Feel the strength in your core. Make sure if you're standing that you're not locking your knees. There's still flexibility even in strength. Maybe you want to take the time to roll your shoulders up and down the back. How does it feel to have a strong, steady core? Notice any places of tension. Invite relaxation if you can. Maybe hold your hands out by your side and find some stillness. The strength coming from the rootedness. Now we're going to grow our branches. Careful of your neighbors. Move them in different directions. Spread your fingers out really wide. See how tall you can reach. Hold your palms out to gather the sunlight. That is nourishment. Many of you are already swaying in the wind. Imagine a warm summer breeze, birds in your branches. And I'll invite you to gradually increase your swaying intensity. Again, careful of your neighbors. If you really have lots of space and lots of energy, you can go really fast. Imagine there's a storm coming through. Maybe you're moving so much at the top you have to bend your knees, but don't pick up your feet. In storms, trees bend and sway and move. They are flexible and strong. Now, if you're moving really fast, you might slow your pace slowly. Maybe you can look to your neighbors and see if you can flow in time with what they're doing. Maybe there is a similar wind blowing through all these trees. Remember that our roots are tangled together. And slow down, and slow down, and come back to stillness. Notice that we made it through this storm together. We may be pushed by the winds around us, but holding onto our core and growing deep roots, we don't fall. We get through not by fighting, but by shifting and moving, adapting, and tapping down deep. Thank you all for joining me in this meditation, and we will sing our children out to their classes.
Yes, thank you, Reverend Carter. And as our children and youth go downstairs out the back door to Melon World, let's all sing As You Go. So in a moment, we will engage in our collective act of generosity known as our offering, when we take time to actively support Westside UU Congregation and its many ministries with our gifts by text, check, or cash. Each month, we choose a community organization to share 1/3 of our undesignated offering gifts, that is, those donations not designated as your pledge contributions. And if you don't happen to go in this back hallway by the office and the restrooms, take a look, because organizations that we contribute to are sending us lovely notes, and Shannon's posting them on that bulletin board. For the month of August, our community giving recipient is Worthy Now, under the auspices of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. Worthy Now is a prison ministry sorted by the UU Church of the Larger Fellowship for incarcerated UUs, of which there are about 2,000 currently in the U.S. Worthy Now members receive regular UU publications, including books from the UUA's Beacon Press, offering its members inspiring resources and faith development opportunities. That's the sound of the wind, by the way. Worthy Now also sponsors a UU Pen Pal ministry, a life-saving one-on-one letter writing program to connect UU members around the country with UUs living in prison. If you're interested in that, check out the newsletter, because there's a detail about how you can get involved. Worthy Now invites people on both sides of prison walls into beloved community. They declare that all persons are worthy of love, respect, and support, as we are right now. So you can give by text by sending a message with a $sign and the amount you want to give to the number on the screen. Note that it is a new phone number for text giving, so please update your information in your devices. For folks here in the sanctuary who prefer to share your gifts by cash or check, the greeters will move among us shortly. And if you'd like your gift to be recorded as coming from you, please use one of the envelopes in the pews. And now please enjoy this gift of music from John Hanson.
Balance with the keeping cool and the noise. We'll do our best. Now let us take a moment for making collective space for holding the joys and sorrows of this community. If you have something you would like to share, there is a link to do so in our newsletter. This morning we have a mixed joy and sorrow from Carrie Lucinian. She writes that she has a new hip injury on the already bad side and is starting an anti-cancer medication with potential side effects. This is the concern, and she is grateful for competent and caring healthcare providers. We are thinking of you, Carrie. And we have a sorrow from our partner church in Transylvania, in Turako St. George. Reverend Imoshe and her husband Shaba announced the passing of Shaba's mother of a heart attack last week. She was an active Unitarian living in Torda, and we know that that community will be missing her. And a joy from Ginger Brewer. Her great-grandson, Cedar Brewer, was born August 2nd at 4:13 a.m., 21 inches and 7 pounds, to Sebastian Brewer. They live in Olympia, so congratulations, Ginger. I feel like I saw you. There you are. Yeah, that's a great joy. And because this is the first Sunday we are gathering this month, we are going to have our stone ritual of joys and sorrows. During this time, you are invited to approach our altar table from the side aisles, place a stone in one of our water bowls, and return to your seat down the center aisle. As you hold your stones, you are invited to take a moment to fill them with prayerful intention and place them in the bowl and feel your intentions, your joys and sorrows mingling with all those in our community. And for those of you joining remotely, you are invited to partake as well. Please take a stone or other sacred object and maybe place it down carefully in a special place, like an altar or next to you on the table. Please let us join. rest in a moment of silence, holding in our hearts all the joys and sorrows of this community, known and unknown, named and unnamed. May we lift each other up in love and our neighbors in the wider human community. And let us continue this meditation singing, "There is a Love."
When Reverend Carter asked me to lead the responsive reading today, I immediately thought of this quote by Dorothy Day, which is actually number 560 in your great hymnal. Dorothy Day was a journalist and activist in the suffrage and labor movements, and in the 1930s helped to found the pacifist Catholic worker movement, which combines direct aid for the poor and homeless with nonviolent direct action on their behalf. The newspaper she founded, The Catholic Worker, is still published to this day. From Dorothy Day. People say, "What is the sense of our small effort?" They cannot see that we must lay one brick at a time, take one step at a time. A pebble cast into a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has the right to sit down and feel hopeless. There is too much work to do. Now, I would say, instead, that each of us, even in times of great need and urgency, has the right to sit down when we need to, for healing time and regeneration. But like that pebble in the pond, we can look to hand off our commitment to another, to keep the chain of purpose and compassion rippling onwards. So here is our responsive reading by the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, who is lead minister at the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universal Church in Walnut Creek, California. So I'm going to read some. You're going to respond in italics. It is called "We Will Pay Attention." It's all going to be up there. Here we go. As fear abounds, may courage as well. In these times, we know we will need not to turn away nor surrender in advance. In the coming years, when asked to turn away, to focus only on our own survival, and to disregard our neighbors, We honor democracy despite its unrealized ideals. We who value the give and take of shaping a future understand the importance of those groups and places that are essential to the democratic practices. Though attacks on truth may rain down upon us, we will not succumb. What we spread will continue to be rooted in fact and to protect the honest lessons of history. We understand the best of what we experience was hard won by those who came before us. We will continue to honor our spiritual ancestors. We hold the special grief of those who never thought they would fight for their basic rights again.
In the name of our ancestors, we will pay attention.
We who have had years of thriving, who have enjoyed times of abundance, hear the cries of those generations who may never experience this. We will think about how we might have a bit less, that they have more. We who are struggling to comprehend all that is lost acknowledge the long struggle before us. We pledge to engage in joy and fun, care for ourselves and our beloveds, for undermining our own lives will not speed justice. We will continue to hold the ideals of what our democracy might someday realize. When we are in a position to do so, we will defend others. When we are in need of defense, we will ask for assistance. In all of this, we remember that we do not do this alone. Together, we will pay attention.
One or 2 years ago, a songwriter named Bob Dylan wrote a song that was kind of about paying attention. Paying attention. So I'm going to sing one of Bob's songs. Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Sing along, you're welcome to. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing.
Thank you, Scott, for choosing that one for us. Let's all take a couple deep breaths together. I don't know about you, but I feel like these days I can't seem to breathe deeply enough, take enough mindful pauses. So I go about my week and I show up to meetings and gatherings with you all, and we do check-in. And no matter the agenda or what's happening outside our windows, we take this moment where we kind of look at each other and acknowledge, maybe with fewer words, holy crap, we're going through a lot right now. And we see one another getting through the best we know how and try to take courage in that. We don't quite spend our time ranting and mourning, at least for more than a minute or two. We more likely gesture vaguely at it all and know that we have each other. And yet, I'm so blessed when I spend time with all of you that that's not the end of the story. You also tell me about the beautiful things happening in your gardens, the joyful moments that you are spending with your family, professional milestones that you are proud of. You tell me about how your kids are feeling about getting ready for the next grade in school. Thank you for sharing these truths with me too. It's this experience that I'm having, and maybe many of us are. I'm hesitant to speak for everyone, but I think a lot of us are living in this dual reality all the time these days. There's this strange rhythm where joy and worry and fear, and it all arrives in our lives in one big tangle. I want to take a moment to tell you how this looks in my corner of the world. There's one truth that I spend my days in close-knit community with you all and with friends, and we have a lot of fun together. And I go to pizza night, and I hear from my Palestinian and my Lebanese friends that they are experiencing increased surveillance with home visits from FBI agents and contingency plans for if they get disappeared. And then we have game night. And another truth, I am loving my new role as a hospital chaplain and getting to be part of making the healthcare system a little bit more humane for the patients I meet. And I see resources getting stretched thinner and thinner. I look to people around me who followed similar career paths in nonprofit and government sectors, who chose jobs to help people, and their options for good employment are getting smaller and smaller. A few months ago, my mom's public health job in North Carolina was eliminated by a federal funding cut. She is okay, and it is infuriating. My neighbor has managed to hang on to her job at the CDC, but is trying every day to find an exit ramp. And I know that there are people in this room living very similar stories. So there's that reality. And there's the reality that I just had the great privilege of gathering my extended family, who I love so dearly, for a wedding celebration delayed by COVID. And next week, I have to say goodbye to my cousin. He's trans, and he doesn't feel that it is sustainable to live in a country that is criminalizing his identity. I love him so much. We grew up together. He's the closest person I have to a sibling. And we don't know if he's coming back or when. It's hard times, y'all. It feels hard to bring these things to this community because I don't want to act like the suffering and terror of the people in my inner circle is somehow more unique or more important than others, than yours. And I know it is certainly much, much worse for many people right now. I'm sad a lot of the time, and I'm also okay. And I hope that in naming some of what I'm holding, I can hopefully give you space to acknowledge for yourself what you're holding. And if you are lucky enough to look at what is happening in the world around you and experience it only as abstract, I share this so that you know it is real. My family is hurting, my flesh and blood and my chosen family, the people that I open my kitchen table to, who welcome me to their kitchen table. These are real people. Can we hold each other in grace and complexity and hold space for all of it? One piece of writing that is helping me remember to do this is a blog post from Adrienne Marie Brown in February of 2021, late in the first year of the COVID pandemic. This post is called, "If You're Good, Say You're Good." She writes, "It is not easy to be good right now. Don't add the additional work of containing it. If some of us are good, it makes more support and mutual emotional aid possible. If we think everyone is just out here overextended and suffering, it becomes harder to risk asking for what we need. I am thriving in large part because I am in relationships where we stagger support, giving freely when we are the ones who have energy, love, money, time, and asking freely or reluctantly, depending on our feelings about interdependence, when we are the ones struggling, lonely, broke, maxed out. Inside of all the circumstances, there is the possibility of this being one of the most beautiful, connected, grounded, liberating, fertile, creative, abundant times of your life. There is a possibility that these are the first days of a great era in your life, or the days when you will have the most impact, the days of the hardest work, the biggest release, the most important memories that you will carry with you. So if you're good, say you're good. It doesn't negate reality. It weaves your reality into the fabric of this complex time. Please, let these words from Brown be a reminder that we can give ourselves the space to speak all of the truths of what we are going through. We need to break down the binary that positions individual wellness as opposite to engagement with the circumstances we live in. The sermon today is called Resilience and Resistance, and it's a big topic, and I won't get to everything. But I want to propose that caring for ourselves and caring for our community are not separate tasks. They cannot be. The ways that we build resilience and the ways that we resist authoritarianism need to be woven together if either one will get us through. If freedom is collective and my faith declares that it is, we must see that we cannot truly be well while our neighbors and our planet are hurting. And the revolution cannot be led by burnt out and disconnected people. The truth is, I do not know how we are supposed to get through this, how we ensure that love and justice win, but I do know that every day we always have the opportunity and responsibility to be more faithful, loving, connected humans, and no circumstances can change that. Another deep breath. I want to invite us to shift gears a little, because when I am in moments where I don't know where to turn, I find it helpful to look to the ancestors. So, if you will, I would love for you to join me for a moment in the UU History Corner. I'd like to take you there. We humans have been through so much, and we are certainly not the first people to be living under reigns of terror. So in the late 1840s, the institution of chattel slavery had been the law of the land for over 200 years, generations, much older than the country, the United States. At this point in time, enslaving other humans was only legal in southern states, but the entire economy of the country depended on keeping this institution alive. There was a married couple, Ellen and William Craft, who were enslaved on a plantation in Macon, Georgia. And they made a daring plan to escape to the north, and it worked. Ellen was light-skinned enough that she was able to put on some disguises and pass as an ailing southern gentleman who was traveling to get medical treatment in the north, and supposedly he was bringing William along as his attendant. So in this way, this couple managed to travel in plain sight for over 1,000 miles before eventually making their way to Boston and settling in the boarding house of a free black man named Lewis Hayden. In joining Hayden's community, the Crafts became members of the Unitarian congregation in West Roxbury, which was led by Theodore Parker. Parker is the one who first said that the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. So they're in this community context, and in 1850, the Federal Fugitive Slave Act was passed into law, making it legal for bounty hunters to kidnap enslaved people who had escaped to free states and to return them to their enslavers. So the West Roxbury Unitarian congregation became a hub of resistance to this law. Theodore Parker, the Crafts, and Lewis Hayden, his wife Harriet, were founding members of the Boston Vigilance Committee. This organization was dedicated to monitoring the activities of bounty hunters and protecting the people they were looking for. Before long, 2 agents sent by the Crafts' former owner arrived in Boston and were met with weeks of harassment and misdirection from Boston abolitionists. The Vigilance Committee even convinced the local police not to help the bounty hunters and had them arrested multiple times for slander and attempted kidnapping. At one point, William Craft was hiding in Lewis Hayden's home, and Hayden threatened to set off a stockpile of gunpowder in the street if the agents tried to enter. At this time, Ellen was hiding in Theodore Parker's house, and the lore says that Parker wrote his sermons with a sword and pistol in his desk. Eventually, the Crafts managed to flee to Canada for their safety, but the Boston Vigilance Committee continued to do this work for a decade until the breakout of the Civil War. Though Theodore Parker would not live to see the abolition of slavery, he spent much of his career as an influential and controversial abolitionist preacher. His writings had a noted impact on politicians in the Republican and Free Soil parties, notably shaping the thinking of William Seward, who would become Lincoln's Secretary of State and help pass emancipation. And it's important to note that not all Unitarians were abolitionists at this time. And Parker was seen as a fringe radical in his politics and his theology. He lost the support of colleagues who believed that slavery was a necessary evil, and those colleagues were speaking out against the divisive tactics of abolitionists. And Parker publicly debated with another famous Unitarian, President Fillmore, because Fillmore did not see a path to emancipation that kept the Union intact. So we connect with this history, and I need to tell you something, which is that I learned this a little bit differently. When I was taught this story growing up in Unitarian Universalist communities, I maybe possibly have been told about the Crafts at some point in time, but I don't remember it because they were treated as incidental side characters. The real drama presented to us that was worth studying was in the public war of words happening between the ministers who served as public intellectuals and got to influence the policies that were made. Sometimes Parker has been framed as this lone genius who had a clearer spiritual vision than all the rest. But I don't think we can buy into stories like this anymore, not if we want to see them as inspiration for ourselves. We should not be inspired by this story because one smart minister said some smart words and convinced politicians to create good policy. We should be inspired because a community of people committed their time, energy, and material resources and love to protecting those who were most vulnerable amongst them. And my best guess is that Parker would not have been able to write so compellingly against slavery without being in real relationship with people like the Crafts. So back in June at General Assembly, I got to be in the audience of a lecture on UU community organizing by the Reverend Sean Neil Barron, and he explained to us that in his experience, we have to be centering justice work in relationship. He told us again and again, you cannot organize strangers, and I believe that this was true in the West Roxbury congregation as well. For Parker, the Crafts and others like them were not hypothetical people who needed to be argued for in op-eds and in the halls of government. They were members of his faith community, people who loved and were loved within a context of interdependence. How could the folks of the Vigilance Committee not house them and protect them? And to be clear, the Crafts were not these people who just needed saving. They were community leaders in their own right who shared their story to inspire others and practiced community care with the Underground Railroad. After emancipation, the Crafts returned to Georgia and founded a majorly influential farm, co-op, and school for formerly enslaved people. So we should be inspired by them too, and not just Parker. And if we want to be inspired by Parker, that is fine, but we should not get stuck admiring only his words. Let his example ask something of you. Who are you committed to? What courage does the spirit of life and love need from you right now, here in your immediate community? And again, I don't know how we're going to turn out as a nation and as a world. I don't know how to ensure that love wins, but I know that for each of us in this room, your love and courage is needed. May we remember that we are all agents of history, capable of taking brave, surprising, and meaningful action, capable of loving our neighbors and protecting each other in times of need. As we meet this moment with open hearts, may we find ourselves a little more whole and a little more resilient. We can take one more deep breath. In all our days, may we remember that no injustice is inevitable. May we be intentional about how we show up to the challenges of our world. May we remember that deep and entangled roots that hold us in the storm are there for us. May we find deep and true joy that sustains us. May we create sanctuary for those in need of it. May we greet the world and ourselves with a fierce and steady love. And now we can join our voices in song as Scott leads us.
I invite you all to rise in body or spirit as we sing Be the Change, which was inspired by the words of Mahatma Gandhi. And I just got back a couple of weeks ago from the AUUMM, the Association for Unitarian Universalist Music Ministries in Atlanta. And I had a wonderful experience there. And one of the things that I found is that at this particular time, it was more powerful than it's been in the past. And I think that's what we get called to. We get called to come to bring more out of ourselves. And so all these people came with all this new wonderful music, and there was this energy of let's be something. And so in this song, I think it's inviting us to be the change, maybe on the outside, but also this inner. Be the change inside, and then let that change manifest on the outside. And John will play it through once, because we haven't done it a lot here. We've done it before, but 2, 3. Change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. And change will come to you. Be the voice. Be the voice you want to hear in the world. Be the voice you want to hear in the world. Be the voice you want to hear in the world, and change will come to you. Be the light, be the light you want to shine in the world. Be the light you want to shine in the world. Be the light you want to shine in the world, and change will come to. Be the change one more time. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world, and change will come to you. And change will come to you. One more time. And change will come to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott, for bringing all this wonderful music and energy back to us. And thank you to you and to John for all of the musical, and for Lisa Maynard joining in as well, to Reverend Carter, to Dan Fivet for lighting our chalice, to our tech team in the booth, to Nate Mesnard on audio and Henry Sikora on visuals, thank you. To our ushers here and our hospitality teams downstairs. And from our board, a call out to the many folks who helped make the grounds of our building safe and beautiful. The garden team was out yesterday trimming back the hedge along the fence and weeding, and earlier in the summer, the facilities crew fixed the exterior stair leading to the office entrance. Thank you all. This care and attention for Westside is so much appreciated. As always, it's a pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together. Now, please do look at your Westside Week, which you received on Friday, for a couple of things that are coming up and that are important to note. The welcome table needs volunteers on Saturday, August 23rd. On a rotating schedule, many of you know that the Westside Interfaith Network, WIN, churches, a number of churches provide and serve a hot lunch at noon on Saturdays for over 100 people and families. We're who are food insecure at the welcome table located outside the Body of Christ Church in White Center. Now, Westside is an active participant church in this network, and we will be partnering with Alki United Church of Christ to provide and serve hot dishes, salads, and desserts on August 23rd. So please connect with Coordinator Charlotte House, who's up in front here. If you want to participate, her contact information is in the newsletter, and you can, in real life, you can talk to her downstairs. Now, save the date. Make sure on your calendar, our in-gathering to begin the new church year is on Sunday, September 14th, when Reverend Carter with Worship Associate Liz Bucklew will present From the Headwaters to the Delta, with music brought by Scott and the Westside Chorale. This is a multi-generational service that will include the commissioning of our new lay pastoral care team, and everyone is invited to bring a small amount of water to share from a special place. Well, it's right close to home or somewhere you have traveled. Bring water. So our next Sunday worship will be on August 24th. Belonging is a practice when Reverend Carter, along with Worship Associate Amy Schiefelbein, along with Rainier Reunion on music, will bring a service on hospitality, showing up, practicing vulnerability, building toolkits for co-creating, and belonging for ourselves and for one another. And now, as Daniel, please releases our flame. You come and go ahead and do that.
Our closing words are from Adam Slate. Be kind, be brave, be just, be merciful, be hopeful. This is how we keep the chalice flame burning until we are together again to light it anew. May you go into this week blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go.
Rise.